Yo, yo! Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm going to do my best Santa impression. Merry Christmas Eve, man. Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody is doing awesome. We got week number 17. Starts it. Fantasy Football Championship week, baby. I mean, the NFL is just jam-packing in a bunch of contests for us to dissect, to play, to watch, and have some fun. First, let me wish you guys a Merry Christmas. I will be spending some time with the fam as well, but get you guys in the know for Boxing Day and Christmas Day contests. I will definitely get you covered for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in another video down the line because I need a break too, man. It's been a long season. Hope you guys are enjoying everything so far in the holiday season. But let's talk about those Baltimore Ravens taking on the Houston Texans on Christmas Day. Lamar Jackson and company. It's going to be a big one, man. They got to continue to win to keep pace to try to win that division. And you know Lamar Jackson continues his good pace, his tear pace, one of his best seasons that he has put up. Never a 4,000-yard passer. He's got 2 games left. Only needs, I think, like 250 yards. He should absolutely cross that line. Stud start for Lamar this week. Once again, the King Henry movement has just made this offense so difficult to stop, man. Houston is somewhat in disarray as well. Hard to trust them overall as an offense, but as a defense, I think they're going to have their hands full with a King Henry and a Lamar Jackson. Stud start also for a Derrick Henry. Should be good to go, man. I mean, it is a short week, so temper the top-end expectations because these guys are going to be hurting on short rest. But I still foresee these guys playing ball, man, at least early on in the contest. Might, start slow, but they'll finish strong. Lamar and King Henry, 15 and 14 boom games, respectively. They're killing it, man. They will be league winners for y'all if you do play them. Justice Hill, injury risk, took a massive headshot, and I mean, he was laying on the ground for a little while. I'd be shocked if he does play in this contest. He still is a questionable right now. Still has not cleared concussion protocols, but we shall see. Likewise with Nelson Aguilar, he is still in concussion protocol, but it's so early in this process for injury report. We will see. I will update in the comments as best I can in my time of eating some Christmas food, no question. But I'm telling y'all, Justice Hill is going to be a risk. If not, it's going to be probably a Rasheen Ali. He is a good one from Marshall. Like this kid coming out of Marshall. Very, he's got some upside. He's a good quality running back. He's not worth starting in fantasy football, but for Ravens fans, he's a decent one. Zay Flowers, man, dealing with a shoulder injury. He should be good to go. Haven't heard any news that he's going to sit in this contest. Good floor for him in the green as well, giving us a very safe floor. 10 to 12 points is nothing to sneeze at in fantasy football. You're hoping that he's going to pop off and get you the 15 to 20, but it's been very safe about those 12 points. Rashad Bateman, on the other hand, he continues to catch TDs. He gives you that ceiling of 20, gives you a floor of like 2. So, I mean, it is in that realm. But if a Nelson Aguilar does sit in this contest, I would absolutely consider playing him once again versus Houston Texans, as they should be throwing the football quite a bit. And Rashad Bateman has been a fixture in this offense. 134 points, very close to his Zay Flowers and point totals. You can absolutely trust a Bateman in your flex this week. Mark Andrews, low risk. Fire him up, man. Ever since everyone dropped him on the waiver wire, he's been back to old reliable. Low-level risk, 8 boom games. Fire up a Mark Andrews everywhere you got him. Isaiah Likely, low upside in the mid-level. I'd be looking in other directions. I mean, even though he did catch you, 10 points last week, it is very much a very low floor, low upside, but if he does catch some passes, he could find his way into the end zone, but I'm looking in other directions. Chicago Bears taking on the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football Boxing Day. Caleb Williams, good showing last week, man. He's got 242 points. As all the bullcrap that we've seen with these Chicago Bears this season, 4-11 record, Caleb not playing his best ball. He has had moments of very good, impressive play. No question about that. Last week, he found Keenan Allen on the regular. Keenan was an absolute dog last week, and I ranked those guys appropriately. I said Keenan, DJ, Rome, and it basically popped off the same way. Good upside on the mid-level for a Caleb. Expect, poor play from time to time, but against the Seahawks defense, he should be able to at least move this football down the field and get some solid point productivity. I mean, if you are streaming quarterbacks and Caleb was on your bench, 18 points is definitely his floor without having a piss-poor game overall. DeAndre Swift, mid-level risk. He's kind of pulled back so far. I mean, Seattle does play the run decently well. Not great overall, but DeAndre has kind of been in neutral these last several weeks. Not really trusting him this week as well. They got to get back to the ground and pound game with a DeAndre. It just hasn't looked good. The offensive line is still the issue here in Chicago. You get a better offensive line, you'll see better running upside and better play from a Caleb Williams. I'm leaning to bench a DeAndre Swift this week. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen, same similar situation this week. I got DJ Moore back in the green, PPR floor on the green. I don't hate the play whatsoever. Get you about 12 to 15 points versus those Seahawks, or Keenan Allen, good upside in the green. Absolutely can play him again this week. He's found something with a Caleb Williams, old reliable back to, he's making some very good catches, making touchdowns as well as point totals very high. Where a Rome Odunze on the mid-level risk, very much too volatile for me to trust. Likewise with a Cole Kmet, he is very much so TD dependent, and I do not like a Cole Kmet, even though he found his way into the end zone last week. I am not playing it this week as well for the finals. Houston Texans taking on those Ravens. CJ Stroud, what I say last week, I said it was kind of mid-level. We'll see what he does. Play wasn't overall great, but he did hit you a decent point totals. What was it, 18 or 20 points-ish? Is kind of where he was sitting last week, 219 on the season, but they lost Tank Dell on that horrific leg injury, knee injury, kneecap, ACL, like just horrible injury for Tank. Prayers up to him. Hopefully he returns back to full health. But CJ Stroud versus Baltimore Ravens, I'm going to play it cautious. Good upside on the mid-level risk. I think he can easily move this football against these Baltimore Ravens defensively in the pass game. Will he give you a 30 spot? Probably not. But, I mean, at least he can get you a good, decent floor where the ceiling would be around 25 points, kind of what you're looking for. So if he does hit 25, he's excelling over what his averages have been this season. But good upside on the mid-level. If you don't have better options, I get it. But if you do, I would probably take it again this week. Joey JoJo Mixon, bounce back in the green. Had him as a bust last week. Absolutely busted. Did not perform. Probably kicked some of y'all out of your leagues, out of your finals. This week, it's a bounce back in the green for me. There is opportunity for these Texans to move the ball, as these Ravens on the defensive side do give up a lot of yardage. It could be a shootout as well, man. This game is going to be very interesting. A lot of people, already ruling out these Texans. I'm not. I think that this is going to be a very interesting show, no question. Nico, low-level risk on the bounce back as well. I think he had under 10 last week. Should absolutely be a focus and focal point this week with no Tank Dell. Was Tank Dell game last week until he got injured. I mean, Nico's going to definitely be back on track. First bust game of Nico's season since being, coming back from his injury. And even before his injury, he was booming on the regular. First bust game last week. He's definitely going to get pepper with targets, and he should be a focal point for this Houston Texans team. John Mechie, he is on the injury report with a shoulder, but I think he's going to be taken off relatively quickly. He should slot back in that Tank Dell role. And he showcased what he can do, man. I'm a huge Mechie guy. You know this. I'm a huge Bama supporter when these guys were there. Love me some Mechie. I think that the PPR upside on the mid-level, it's a risk, but you can maybe flirt with it in your flex appeal as well. Low-end wide receiver 3. There is some upside here this week, but it's very much volatile to trust. Where Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, if John Mechie does play, I think that does downgrade a Robert Woods to a red on the PPR upside. Would not play a Robert Woods if Mechie's playing. If Mechie's sitting, then I can understand maybe suiting up a Robert Woods. Dalton Schultz found his way back to some good point totals last week and the week before. Mid-level risk. I mean, tight end's such a crapshoot, so difficult to trust week in, week out. So if you have Dalton Schultz, I do not dislike it whatsoever to play him. Patrick Mahomes and these Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Steelers. Christmas Day, baby. I mean, low-level risk for Patrick Mahomes. He's faking his ankle injury. We all know this. You got to understand what's going down in Kansas City. They are not playing for the season. They're definitely playing for the playoffs. They may look stagnant. They haven't hit 30 points all season long, still got 14 wins. That should tell y'all something, man. They are going to turn it up in the playoffs. They're saving guys like Isaiah Pacheco, not using him until the postseason as well, because they know what kind of grind it's going to be. So this week, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, I'm going mid-level for Kareem. I'm going low floor for Pacheco. Clearly, they want to understand that you just give him some touches, get his football legs back, and he has been absolutely crippling all y'all that have been playing him since he returned from his injury. Kareem Hunt on the mid-level risk. They're going to try to run the football quite a bit. It's going to be very difficult. So Hunt over a Pacheco, I can play this week. DeAndre Hopkins, mid-level risk. It's weird, man. They're going away from D-Hop, going more towards an Xavier Worthy. I got Worthy on the good upside where D-Hop is a mid-level risk. You hoping for TDs for him to get in that 12-point range where a Worthy has been seeing a lot of targets come his way, and he is making a lot of plays. Do like the play of a Worthy this week. There's always boom potential in this man. Scoring TDs, scoring long touchdowns, gadget plays. There is opportunity for a Worthy this week as well. Where D-Hop, I'm kind of leaning towards sitting this week. It is, a judgment call on your end, but I would look for better options. Where Hollywood Brown, he does cloud the movement of target share as well. He had about, 7 points last week. He's on a mid-level. It was good to see him back. Had some targets, and they will start to utilize this man as well. Speed kills. And these guys with Worthy and Brown, they will absolutely take it down the field. Where Travis Kelce, mid-level risk. I mean, it's so tough to trust this man. 5 points, 6 points, kind of what you're getting right now unless he finds his way into the end zone. It is absolutely very difficult to trust this man. Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson, mid-level risk. This offense is very anemic right now. We're waiting for the point of saying George Pickens hopefully is going to be playing. We will call George a good play, good upside on the mid-level risk this week if he does come back. He has not been cleared to play yet, but there is good possibilities that a George Pickens will suit up in this contest. I will suit up a George if I have him, but, again, play with caution on the mid-level. Good upside, potential TD upside for a George. But, overall, Russell Wilson mid-level, Najee mid-level, Jalen mid-level. I would play likely Najee with TD upside potential where Jalen Warren showcased that, if you utilize him a little bit more, he's got that great change of pace ability. Still only got you 11 points last week, so it's not an abundant amount of points coming from the Steelers offense right now. And then Russell Wilson gave the game away last week with some interceptions, costly turnovers by a Russell Wilson. Let's weld, but I'm basically fading Russ. I will, fade probably both running backs at this point. And then a George Pickens, I don't dislike the play as my wide receiver 3 or flex option this week as well. Van Jefferson, Calvin Austin, Mike Williams. Not trusting any of it. It is too important. It's win or go home. It's do or die. Fantasy football playoffs do not like it. We're a Pat Freiermuth, the Moot, mid-level risk. Again, he did this disappearing act. If George does play as well, he's going to see his role pulled back that much more. This is a grinding team, man. They're going to grind you to death with limited, tallies on the board. The Muth is one of these guys. If you're just desperate for a tight end, then I can understand the play. Outside of that, I'm basically moving on from the Steelers this week. Seattle Seahawks is finishing it off with a Boxing Day game against those Bears on Thursday Night Football. Geno had a huge game last week for us. Over 24 points, I believe. So it's a good upside again on the mid-level risk. We do got some injury notes. Kenny Walker with the ankle, Zach Charbonnet with an elbow, and Noah Fant with a knee. No indication that these guys are going to miss this game as of yet, Kenny. Maybe you got to watch a little bit more if that does happen. That's why I'm kind of ranking it this way. We're Geno on the good upside. Don't dislike the play for Geno because they are fighting for their playoff lives a lot. So Geno's going to continue to throw the football. Where Kenny Walker does scare me a little bit this week on the mid-level risk. Where Zach Charbonnet, if a Kenny does sit, he would get the upside. This is almost reminiscent to the Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears type of situation. How healthy is Kenny? Is Charbonnet going to take over more touches in this contest? It's one of these things, man. So, okay, if you want to fade the entire thing, not to have the headache, I completely understand. But if it is me right now, if Kenny's suiting up, I got to play Kenny. If it is Kenny, obviously, sitting down, maybe we play a Charbonnet. So we'll find out as the game does get closer on health on Kenny Walker. So hopefully it won't cloud the situation, because when Charbonnet was playing, he was doing very well for us, man. DK Metcalf finds his way back into the glory end zone last week. 6 booms, 139 points, but this offense is rolling through a JSN. Jackson Swindle-Jigbo. He's my dude, man. I've been preaching up JSN. He's low-level risk. Fire him up everywhere you got him. He has been a dog, man. 1,000-yard season. He's doing the business, and he is looking like the wide receiver 1 on this team right now. Where DK Metcalf, mid-level risk, they finally understood you got to go back to the sideboard. He will catch you touchdowns, and he will make plays. I do believe that he was dealing with that knee injury. I think that was basically what was hampering him, and he was playing decoy a lot more than what they were, letting on. And then Jackson Smith was getting all these plays. So I'm telling y'all right now, DK, don't dislike the play as well. Where JSN absolutely firing him up. Where Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant can't do it this week as well, where Noah Fant's been giving you about 5-6 points, where Tyler Lockett's been basically a null and void type of player in fantasy basically all season long. But there you have it. That is Christmas Day and Boxing Day starts it. Lineup advice. We are getting to the finish line. It's almost there. Can't wait to hoist those trophies with y'all. But again, enjoy your Christmas. Enjoy the family time. And I will see you definitely later this week for the games on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Put your questions in there. I will try to get back to you as best I can, but we'll see you next time. I am out.